Hello everyone, thanks for watching this video. Let me talk a little bit on Agile today. In Agile, the center core of its pulse moves around something called iteration. We can call it as iteration or sprint interchangeably. Let's start from this iteration and see something around that, what's happening. If you look at this board, you can see iteration or sprint. A iteration or sprint can go 1 week to 4 weeks of timeline as per the Agile books. It's up to us, right? So now, if it is 1 week to 4 weeks, let's imagine it's 2 weeks of sprint, which is very common these days. Now, an iteration or a sprint to run smooth in Agile, we definitely need people, and also we need some set of events to make it happen. Let's see these factors. What's about people? When you say people, we have something called a development team. A development team or dev team is a core engineering team, and this team can have a size of 3 to 9 people. That's a proportion. When this team is there, it's a well self-organized, self-sustained team. They can do everything like define it, do it, test it, and release it. All are capable of doing that. That is the only people you need? No, you need some more. The some more is Scrum Master. Who is a Scrum Master? A Scrum Master is a servant leader who is going to help the team to move forward, helping them with the process, clearing up the impediments, and supporting the team with all the needed stuff. Sometimes we see project managers also play the Scrum Master role. How many people can be there? One can be there. Very good. So what is next? Next we have is product owner. A product owner is a customer representative who knows the business domain knowledge, who help the team to prioritize things which need to go to market to win value for the customer. So when you say an iteration is based with this set of people like development team, scrum master, and product owner. Fantastic. Now what they're going to do? Now question is what? What is a set of work? Where the work will be there? Work will stay in a place called product backlog and sprint backlog. A product backlog is a collection of all the work which need to be done, and the prioritization and handling it responsibilities with the product owner who takes it, right? They know what to do. Now, product backlog, this has a list of items. Now, there is something called a sprint backlog, which is going to help this team for 1 to 4 weeks or 2 weeks of timeline, what they have to do on that sprint. For each sprint, we'll have a sprint backlog, and this will have a list of work and also how we are going to do that. Both going to be there. Now you understood something called iteration or a sprint, which is 1 to 4 weeks of time. You understood set of people. You understood what work will be done. Now you should know very interesting thing in Agile or in iteration or in a sprint. There is something called events, which decides most of the stuff. Let's see those factors. Something that is called sprint planning. A sprint planning is going to help the team to plan what and how things will be done, and that can happen 4 hours of time for 2 weeks of iteration. If it is a 2 weeks of iteration or sprint, 4 hours is a decent time to do this work. Okay, that's for the planning. And there is something called daily stand-up. A daily stand-up is a place where all these engineers and core people meet each other and talk about what happened from the last meeting to this meeting, what I'm going to do today. Is there any blockers there? It's a kind of friendly discussion. It's not a status meeting. It's a meeting to just talk, hey guys, what's happening? What's up, right? That kind of thing going to happen here. Because we are working with the knowledge workers. There is no command and control model here. So that's about the daily stand-up. Then we have something called sprint review. What is a sprint review? The team does work for every 2 weeks. Somebody has to evaluate it, what they have done. They're going to show demonstration of the work. With whom they show demonstration? To the product owner and product manager or some of the representative from the customers will come and check everything is going well. So that's going to happen, and that's going to be 2 hours of time. 2 hours of time. Very good. Then we go to next stage. The next one is called sprint retrospective. You can see here sprint retrospective, which can happen 1.5 hours for 2 weeks of iteration. The timing, whatever I'm giving here, it's all for 2 weeks of iteration, assuming that's a timeline which you're going to take. Now, what do you do in retrospective? Retrospective is a place to see how we are progressing. Is there any area for improvement, any appreciation to the team? And this is a place, it's open and transparent where people start talking to each other. Hey, this can be improved. A process improvement can be introduced there. Or it can be a place to talk about how better we can do going forward. You look at and reflect yourself. That's very important. Now, what I'm trying to put here, in Agile, we have a central core thing which is called as iteration or a sprint, which is as per the Agile books 1 to 4 weeks of time. It does certain things around it, something like a people, something like work, and some of the events which makes it happen. There are certain timeline given here. It is all guidelines. Doesn't mean you have to be very strict on that. For example, a stand-up is meant to be only 15 minutes, but I see many places it goes beyond 15 minutes. But provided lesser time, it's better. And also, a stand-up should be only as a sharing of information, rather somebody's questioning them, hey, what you did. But unfortunately, we come from the managerial world. We always have a tendency to ask someone, hey, what you did? Hey, what you did? Rather, it should be a discussion within the team. It's a kind of a win-win situation. Now, the main point here is you should have a visibility of what work the team has to do, and that be picked up by the team. Note on the word picked up by the team. Nobody can ask the team, hey, you do this. Rather, team says, this is our velocity, this is our capacity, we will do this. Now, what we did in this short video here is, want to introduce you in Agile, there is iteration. In iteration, we have some set of people involved into it, some set of work involved into it. That's called product backlog, sprint backlog, certain events involved into it. The events could be of a sprint planning, daily stand-up, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. This minimal information is good to enough and run a sprint or an iteration. Thanks for watching this video. We will add more Agile topics going forward. Good day.